All right, good morning, everyone. I want to call this meeting to order. So today is the 13th of August, 2024, and this is the Finance and Administration Committee and a special meeting of the Board of Directors of the West Basin Municipal Water District. And so with that, EJ Caldwell, would you determine if we have a quorum?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'll begin with Director Harold Williams.
Here.
Chairman Scott Houston.
Here.
Director Gloria Gray.
Here.
Director Don Deere.
Here.
Director Desi Alvarez. Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Very good, thank you. Let's see, anyone from the public who's wishing to speak?
Mr. Chairman, we have not received any requests for public comment, though this meeting is being held both in person and virtually. If there's any member of the public that would like to speak now, please indicate so by raising your virtual hand. And Mr. Chairman, I do not see any requests.
Very good. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. So item 4 on our agenda is presentations, and we have a small and community bank program, Malaga Bank. So with that, EJ, if you'll make an introduction.
Yes, thank you. We do have Malaga Bank here for a presentation, and we have Ms. Sasha O'Hara, Senior Vice President, as well as Ms. Julie Parton, the Business Development Manager, here for a presentation. So I'm happy to throw it over to you.
Can I speak here? Whatever you prefer, because you've got the public comment. I mean, the virtual. Do you want me?
It honestly does not matter. The microphones pick you up no matter where you stand.
That's because that way we have you on camera.
Oh, perfect.
Got it.
Okay. Well, thank you for having us once again. It's always a pleasure to be able to get out and come and visit some of our customers in the field, so to speak. So this is, I represent Malaga Bank. We have been a local community bank since 1985 in the whole South Bay area. Our corporate office still remains in Palos Verdes Estates, and we have locations in five areas. We have Palos Verdes Estates, Rolling Hills Estates, San Pedro, and we have 2 Torrance branches right now. We have a Torrance branch on Crenshaw and Rolling Hills Road, and then one a little bit deeper in Torrance on Hawthorne and stuff. Our highlights, as you can see on the slide, we're just shy of $1.5 billion in total assets. We have $960 million in deposits and almost $3 billion in loans, and 25.61% total risk-based capital ratio. It's always hard to say quickly. So we're very well capitalized. We're safe, we're sound, we're local, we're not going anywhere, and we're happy to continue to do business with you. So some of our accolades on the next slide are the Bauer Financial Incorporated Premier Top 5-Star rating, which I know doesn't mean a lot outside of the financial industry, but in the financial industry, it is a pretty high award. We've gotten it for 66 consecutive quarters as of June 2024. And what they are is they're the nation's leading independent bank rating and research firm. So they do all of the work for the public to kind of let you know where banks are, how they're positioned, and all aspects of that. And we continue to earn that 5-star rating. We also, once again, were awarded the Daily Breeze Reader's Choice Award as the South Bay's Best Bank. So it's been 8 years consecutively and 9 years total. There was a break in 2016. For some reason, people didn't like us in 2016, but then they continued to like us again. So there we go. And we already talked about our total assets over almost 1.5 billion. And then I would like to point out at the bottom there, that's one of our new managers' pictures because they make us do that every so often. So this was the one for like summer colors and yeah, anyway. The next slide shows some customer testimonials. We have some information from the Grand Vision Foundation. That's one of the foundations that we support, both as financially, we will give donations to them, but also our CFO happens to sit on their board as well. So Yasna Penich is one of their board members and has been for several years. And then we have St. Paul's Lutheran Church is another one of the organizations that we partner with and that we support, and who bank with us for the reason that we are a community bank. So we're friendly, we're local, like I've said before, and if you call us, we actually will answer the phone, which are all things that are that help when trying to establish a relationship. Our community support. I see a lot of you guys out in community just as much as we are, so you probably are familiar with a lot of it. But we do everything that we can for our community. We hold food drives for volunteer centers, Food for Kids programs, for several other nonprofits, Harbor Interfaith. What are some of the other ones we did? Coberman in San Pedro. And we do them at various times. We do them during the holiday, but then, for instance, for the Food for Kids program, we held a spring drive because they needed the food for spring break for the kids to be able to take home. So then we just kind of I got word of it. We threw out the boxes in the branches and we were able to make deliveries of food for them for the spring break to make it in time for spring break. Cancer Support Community, we continue to be a sponsor of theirs. We have typically done an annual Cancer Awareness Week where the employees and customers are all able to donate for a week-long celebration, and Malaga then matches up to a certain amount. And last year we were able to donate to them $6,714 just from that program. In addition to I sit on the board at Cancer Support Community as well. Next slide. We didn't create the slideshow, just so you're aware. You'll see at the top, Julia Parton, who is also at my left right now. She was recognized in 2023's Palos Verdes Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year, which is reflective of her community involvement, essentially. She is everywhere up on the hill. In most places off of the hill. She kind of just shows up everywhere. And it's really just what she does. She also just recently was featured in a magazine, in Pulse magazine for Torrance Memorial, also speaking to her community development or her community involvement and whatnot. So we are really, really lucky to have her as part of the Malaga Bank team. And then I was also awarded for 2024 for this year, the Torrance Chamber of Commerce Volunteerism Award, the J. Walker Owens Volunteerism Award. Similar to Julia, we're growing up and living and working and being in Palos Verdes. That's kind of my MO for Torrance. I was born and raised in Torrance. And managing one of the branches in Torrance and being part of the chamber really allows me to participate in Torrance in a way that I otherwise wouldn't be able to. That I'm very appreciative that Malaga Bank allows us to do this. So moving on there, the next slide shows another little bit. I'm not going to read all of this to you, but this is an example of some of our executive team and what boards they sit on, things that they influence, places that they influence, clubs that we're members of. So you can see, and I'll give you a moment to just kind of peruse that. We have a wide variety of community programs that we sponsor and that we not just sponsor. And when I say sponsor, I'm not meaning necessarily financially. Although there is that as well. The difference I see in Malaga's community partnerships and sponsorship is in our people, our sweat equity. We get in there and we're doing things, we're setting up, we're tearing down, we're participating in events, and helping them plan them and whatnot. So that's one of the other things that Malaga enables us to do, and that we're able to get out there and really be a part of everything. Next slide is just basically our statement per your requirement that we are once again rated outstanding for the OCC in terms of our Community Reinvestment Act. We did just get that exam results were just given to us fairly recently, like the last month. So I am able to provide you a link to that now that we've got the rating and it's been made official and whatnot. If anybody would like that, Miss Sandra or somebody can email me and I can get that to you. Okay. Next slide, which is our last slide. It's really hard to read. I apologize for that, but it's because there's so much information. That's essentially our dollar amounts for loans divided up by divisions, by your district divisions, and zip codes. So how much we have at each one of those locations. So currently our total outstanding loans within those district areas is 386,840,581 is what I meant to say. I added zeros. So that about covers it, I believe. I'm happy to take any questions or anything else. Julia, would you like to add anything?
No, just quickly, I just want to echo what Sasha has stated about giving back. I love giving back to all of our communities that we serve, just because I know supporting our nonprofit partners, committees, committee work, volunteerism helps make our neighborhoods stronger, our communities stronger. And again, thankful that Malaga Bank has that philosophy to allow me to go out and spend the majority of my time volunteering for these groups. And I'm happy to do so. So, but thank you again for being a partner with us. I'm looking forward to the Water Harvest Festival coming up again. But yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. What I'll do is open it up to my colleagues if there's any comments or questions. And I will start with the member of the committee, Director Williams. Comments, questions?
Thank you very much. Questions? I have no questions. I just want to say thank you. Thank you guys for support of the community. Because we are community-based and oriented as well.
Mm-hmm.
If we weren't, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So, yeah, just thank you and keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Director Dean.
Very interesting presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay. And Director Gregg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to all who did the presentation this morning. I just have one question. I was looking through the documents, and I know that you provide service to, I guess, certain cities, certain in your area. You don't get any requests or service any other area besides what I'm seeing in your printout?
In terms of lending or in terms of deposit gathering?
Lending.
Lending. We don't typically deal outside of our area. These are the zip codes. We do have loans outside of these zip codes, though. These zip codes only represent what's in your district for the water district. But we also lend. We lend as far up as South Santa Barbara, as far down as San Diego. So we have many more loans than what are listed just on that page. That was just what pertains to the water district specifically.
Yeah, I was just looking at the page as a presentation where it says the bank operates 5 full services branches. So these are the only branches you have that's listed, right, in these areas. You don't have them in any other branches. Right?
That is correct.
Right.
Yeah, for our deposit gathering. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask you if there's any plan to open any other branch in any other area than the ones that you list.
I would comment that never say never. However, we don't really feel that the development of brick and mortar branches is kind of the way that banking is going right now. Given all of the opportunities that we have to bank electronically, we're able to serve people in much further away from our branches than we've ever been able to do before. And I think that is what's allowing us to expand our geographic presence without actually building another branch somewhere. So we do reach out to as far as Redondo Beach and El Segundo, just speaking locally. And there's some outlying things. I'm talking with a company from Canada right now. So it's just wherever we can help, and if it makes business sense for that business to bank with us, then that's what we'll do.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. All right, well, thank you for the presentation. I appreciate it this morning, and thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And I will really just echo everything that's been said. When I was looking at these slides, by the way, I think it was at both of these events where you but the truth of the matter is, you are truly a community bank. I mean, local with branches that still exist, which I know that's a harder market these days. And because of our longstanding community banking program, which the board remains committed to, as well as we've adjusted it over the years to be flexible and make sure that we have that as a piece of our investment portfolio. So we want to say thank you to the partnership with Malaga Bank over all these years, as well as Director Williams said too, because, just between the two of you, you are everywhere. And our paths cross in so many different ways and the different organizations. And, West Basin being the majority, the South Bay, of course, is in our service area, as well as some of the West Side. And, we are the water district. But a big part of what we do is, obviously, it's essential to the communities. But on the other hand is how can we at least put some of our resources into local banks, so that that money is spread out across the community. So I want to just echo, thank you very much. Thanks for coming down and seeing us. We really do appreciate the partnership, as well as the fact that we have a great relationship with our staff. And when we've need to look at things with you all, you've adjusted with us. And so we greatly appreciate that, because lastly, we know the competition's stiff in the banking sector. Sadly, not as many of the local banks left. And a lot of brick and mortars are not there anymore. But you all thankfully are standing strong and adapting. And I think that's so important for our regional and local communities. So thank you again very much. All right. Well, with that, you're off the hook now. And we'll see you out there.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Let's see. Item 5 is our action calendar, and 5A is approval of minutes. EJ?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this item does begin on packet page 4. And for this item, we do have Desiree Quintero, our Manager of Administration.
Good morning, members of the committee and board. Approval of minutes can be found on packet page 13. The minutes for the West Basin Municipal Water District Board of Directors meetings are an integral part of the public meeting process. Minutes provide a history of the actions taken at board meetings, which is informative not only for members of the public, but for other stakeholders as well. Minutes for the July 22nd, 2024 regular board meeting have been attached for consideration and can be found beginning on page 15. With that, I would like to read the recommendation that the board approve the July 22nd, 2024 regular board meeting minutes.
All right, very good. Any questions on this item? Director Williams?
No, thank you.
And Deere?
No, thank you.
Director Gray?
No, thank you.
I don't have any questions either. I would recommend it goes forward to the board for approval. Director Williams?
I can hear.
All right. So let's see, 5B is in boy.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking through this. Yeah, 5B as in boy, consider sponsorship of fiscal year 24-25 community outreach events. EJ.
Yes, thank you very much. This item does include two specific pieces. So we have item 5B1 and 2. And for this presentation, we have Kaya Yoshida, our administrative assistant.
Good morning, Chairman Houston and members of the committee board. If I can turn your attention to packet page 21, where we have the two items for your consideration. The first one is Miracle Revolution's 5th annual prostate cancer walk, which is scheduled to be held on Saturday, September 14th, 2024. Dr. Williams requests consideration for West Basin to sponsor this event in the amount of $2,500, which would grant West Basin a speaking opportunity for a district representative, a booth/cable to distribute district information, and an advertisement promoting district awareness. West Basin has previously sponsored this event back in fiscal year 23-24 in the same amount of $2,500, which provided a speaking opportunity, booth, and ad. More information regarding the sponsorship request is included in attachment A, which can be found in packet page 23. The second item is the Palos Verdes Peninsula Education Foundation's Toast on the Coast, which is scheduled to be held on Saturday, October 5th, 2024. Director Williams requests consideration for West Basin to sponsor the Toast on the Coast event in the amount of $2,500, which would grant West Basin an advertisement promoting district awareness. And West Basin has not previously sponsored this event. More information regarding this sponsorship request is included in attachment B, which can be found in packet page 36. So approving the request here before you today, totaling $5,000, would leave a remaining budget of $55,400 for fiscal year 24-25. These details can be found on packet page 44, which is attachment C. And with that, I'd be happy to read the recommendation.
Go ahead.
Yes, the recommendation can be found on packet page 22, also on the agenda. So number 1, Director Williams recommends that the board consider approving sponsorship of Miracle Revolution's 5th annual prostate cancer walk event scheduled to be held on Saturday, September 14th, 2024 in the amount of $2,500. And number 2, Director Williams recommends that the board consider approving sponsorship of Palos Verdes Peninsula Education Foundation's Toast on the Coast event scheduled to be held on Saturday, October 5th, 2024 in the amount of $2,500. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Thank you, Kaya. Let's see. Well, any questions? And I will again start with our member, Director Williams. And these are your two items. So any questions or comments? Any questions? Anything? No?
Yeah, go ahead.
Asked you a question.
Oh, yeah. Did you have any questions or comments, Director Williams?
I have no question, my comment, of course. I would appreciate it if you supports this recommendation. And both organizations are strong in service areas, so please say, I would appreciate it if I can get your support on this. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Any other questions, Director Gear, Director Gray?
No, thank you.
And I don't have any other questions. I don't think, Kaya, you told us if we approve these on that last page, what will come down to, and that's not an issue. But I just want to note that should these go to the full board for approval, it looks like our budget balance would become $55,400. But with that, I think these are both worthy. One of them we've done before. The other one we're looking at this year. And speaking of that, education foundations, unfortunately, are so important, right, for our communities because the school funding just does not put the same amount of resources in all the districts, and comes on the community partners to help fund some of that difference. And so we usually have been supporting a lot of the ed foundations in our service area. So I concur that we should. So with that, I think we should move this forward with a yes for approval from this committee, and Director Williams concurs. All right, thank you to staff and Kaya on that one. So now we have 5C as in cat. Consider fiscal year 24-25 district sponsorship requests. EJ.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is our annual discussion related to the Soul Family Taste of Soul event. And so for this item, it does begin on packet page 45. And for the presentation, we have Carla Hewitt, our executive assistant.
Thank you, PJ. Good morning, almost good afternoon, members of the committee and board. I'm here to bring the 2024 Taste of Soul Family Festival for your consideration as a district sponsorship for the current fiscal year. West Basin has received an invitation from Bakewell Media to sponsor their annual Taste of Soul Festival to be held in Los Angeles on Saturday, October 19, 2024. And you may remember from previous year, this is the largest street festival in Southern California. It congregates about 350,000 attendees, about 300 or so local businesses, in addition to utility agencies, nonprofit organizations, delivering healthcare services and other resources. Sponsorship opportunities for the current fiscal year range between $150,000 and $5,000. We received very nice slides from Bakewell Media, but for the sake of consolidating, if I could turn your attention to page 79 of the packet, there is an in-house summary from what each of the lower level sponsorships include. They offer branding and exposure opportunities during the VIP reception, which is a separate event happening to 2 days prior, on-site benefits at the actual festival, in addition to exposure in print and digital media handled for the event and also at the LA Sentinel. Bakewell Media, the organizers and creators of this event, are a Los Angeles-based production and media company that also owns and operates the Los Angeles Sentinel and the Los Angeles Watts Times. West Basin previously sponsored this event in fiscal year 2023 and 2022 at the bronze level with $5,000. And with that, I will read the recommendation and the fiscal impact. Funds for this sponsorship are included in the current fiscal year sponsorship budget in the amount of $55,000. Funds currently remaining after the approval of July's events are $47,000, and should the board consider following the recommendation today, then we will be down to $42,000, which is almost a quarter of the district sponsorship budget for the fiscal year. And with that, the recommendation would be that the board consider approving sponsorship of the annual Taste of Soul Family Festival to be held in Los Angeles on Saturday, October 19th, 2024, in the amount of $5,000. And I am available for any questions you may have.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's see, any questions? Sorry, Director Williams.
Thank you. No questions. I would just like to comment that I think this is money well spent. I would recommend it.
Thank you, Director Deere. Director Gregg.
Yes, hopefully I think the board for considering it. I think we've been a part of that event for many years since its inception, and it has a huge outreach, and there's many thousands of people who do attend it. So I think we should continue to support it at that level. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. And I will say the same thing. We've supported it for all the years I think I've been on this board. It's a great event. You know, whether we were a sponsor or not, it's a great event. Hopefully people do make their way to Taste of Soul. It's a lot of fun, a lot of good food, of course. But as was noted, the money does go out there to great causes in our regional communities. So I recommend that we move this forward to the board with a support position, and Director Williams
Goes without saying.
he concurs. And also want to say thank you to Director Gray for bringing this to us as always. So thank you very much. All right. With that, we are on our action calendar 5D as in dog, commercial paper program renewal. EJ.
Yes, thank you very much. This item begins on packet page 81. And for this presentation, we have Wendy Nakamura, our Chief Financial Officer.
Thank you, EJ. Good morning, directors. West Basin currently have a 30 million commercial paper program that is supported by the Bank of Montreal, which will expire on October 18, 2024. West Basin had this program since 2018. This program allows West Basin to borrow money when needed. In May 2024, the board approved the continuity of this program. After the board approved the program, staff worked with the West Basin Financial Advisor and the bond counsel to identify which bank West Basin would like to work with. The evaluation including two parts. As you can see on page 81, we're providing the options of upfront issuance cost to continue working with our current bank, which is the Bank of Montreal. The cost will be $35,000. If we are going to working with any other new bank, the cost will be about $141,000. The second evaluation part is the annual fee, which is on the package page 82. Bank of Montreal offer 0.35% annual fee, which is about $105,000 annually, and we already budgeted during the budget season. And for PFM data, for other bank, the annual fee can be from 0.34 to 0.75%. So based on the estimated insurance cost and the annual fee, the most economical way for West Basin to continue the CP program is to extend the current agreement with the Bank of Montreal for another 3 years. If there is no question, I would like to read the recommendation on page 83.
Go ahead and read that, please.
Okay, so the recommendation is that the board approve, adopt, and authorize the president to sign resolution number 0824-1213, a resolution of West Basin Financing Corporation approving the second amendment with the current bank. And also there's another resolution, which is resolution 0824-1214, is to ask West Basin Municipal Water District authorizing the second amendment with the current bank. For that is concluded my presentation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chairman, if I could add, if this item is ultimately approved and recommended by the committee, this will require a special meeting of the West Basin Finance Corporation, which would need to be held at the regularly scheduled board meeting later this month. We would do that, obviously, as we've done over numerous years. We would do this as part of the August board meeting. Secondly, I did want to note that this item was discussed, obviously, preliminarily during the budget discussion. It was incorporated and included in the budget, as well as the previous action item to go out to market to look for who would be working with as far as our commercial paper program. And last but not least, I did want to also note that I did have a chance to discuss this item with our board president, Director Desi Alvarez. He raised his same concerns that he raised during the budget process, but I let him know that I would note that when we brought this item through committee. So with that, staff and myself are available for any questions.
Very good. Questions, Director Williams.
Yes, thank you. I just, I'd like to hear his comments.
Director Alvarez, first of all, will be attending the Board of Directors meeting, and he said that he would be happy to raise his issues. His issues, I think, primarily focus on the issue that he does not believe that West Basin at this time should be utilizing any debt. So our commercial paper program offers us the ability to utilize credit if and when it's necessary. During the budget discussion, we noted that there is a shortfall within the projects that we've identified that we believe are necessary at the Edward C. Little Water Recycling Facility. Those projects are primarily related to the solids handling and DCS program. We're very hopeful that we can reduce costs over the course of the fiscal year, and we're hopeful that our revenue will rebound and increase from years past through the production of additional recycled water, not only to the barrier, but our other customers, as well as potentially being over budget on our potable water sales, because we took a very conservative approach as far as how we budgeted for that. So we're hopeful that we'll see the additional revenue so that we won't need to utilize this commercial paper. But this commercial paper program is, I think, an excellent tool if it's necessary. It's worth noting that I believe that this came in under budget, lower than we had anticipated within the budget, the cost of the commercial paper program.
Yeah, it's within the budget, yes.
So the board president did note that, and he did say, acknowledge that he was pleased to see that. But I think his significant concern is just whether West Basin should utilize debt.
Thank you.
Very good. Other questions? Director Deere? Director Gray?
No, thank you.
Let's see, I want to say thank you to EJ as well for giving us that information. I did notice was in here that I was like, I thought we just did this, but yes, in May 2024, so just a couple months back, we authorized this program continued, right? And I think that was, I believe, a 4-1 vote. I believe that was a 4-1 vote. And we understand Director Alvarez has a difference of opinion on the policy, that we should not use debt. And I think that we are doing our best to minimize using debt, but having a line of credit is an extremely intelligent and smart thing to do, in my opinion. This is more for the what if and the rainy day and how we would use it judiciously, which I also know that we've looked at that versus how things were done in the past. So with that, this seems pretty simple to me that we should move forward and authorize the staff to do this. And I also note that, so this used to be Bank of the West, right?
And then change it to Bank of Montreal, yeah.
Okay, that part I was not aware of. So all that to be said, I think the staff has done the work and the research, and obviously continuing with this bank makes financial sense too for the agency. So I would support moving staff recommendation to the full board with a yes position. Director Williams, what's your opinion? Okay, so he says yes as well, and so we'll move it on to the agenda. Does that go on the consent calendar, EJ?
It would, but, excuse me, yeah. We would need to bring this item as part of the special meeting of the West Basin Finance Corporation. So it'd be a separate action.
But this part will be on our agenda, right?
Correct.
Then there's a secondary piece that has to be done with it. Go on action. And then
The committee's recommendation.
very good. And then remind us, so when do we have to have another meeting of the Finance Corporation?
Immediately following the board meeting.
Okay, very good. All right, so with that, you have the recommendation from the committee. So we appreciate that. And thank you, Wendy, and your team for all the work behind the scenes to make that happen. Let's see, we are now moving into our information calendar. So item 6A, annual disclosure of reimbursements.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this item begins on packet page 110. As you mentioned, item 6A is our annual disclosure of reimbursements. And for this presentation, we have Stephanie Soto, our accountant.
Thank you, EJ. Good afternoon, Chairman Houston, members of the board, and members of the committee. I'm here to present the information on the district's annual disclosure of reimbursements for the fiscal year 2023-24. On your packet page 110 should be agenda item 6A. The memo shares a brief summary and background of why we have to disclose the report. Per California Government Code, the district shall at least annually disclose any reimbursement of at least $100 for each individual charge for services or products received. The finance team has reviewed all of the staff and directors' reimbursements for the fiscal year and identified the reimbursements where the single charge exceeds the $100 threshold. You will find this list on packet page 112 to 113. This concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions on this item? Dr. Williams?
No, thank you.
Mr. Deere? Director Gray?
No, thank you.
I don't have any questions either, so thank you very much. Now we'll go to 6B as in boy, the monthly financial report. EJ.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this item begins on packet page 114. It's our monthly financial report. And for this presentation, we have Sandra Ruiz, our accountant two.
Thank you, EJ. Good afternoon, members of the committee and board. I will be presenting agenda number 6B. As required by West Basin Administrative Code, staff is required to submit various financial reports to the board to keep the appropriate financial condition. With that, I will begin with the first agenda item 6BA, the demands list, which begins on packet page 116. This will be the demands list for the period ending July 31st, 2024. The report concludes on packet page 120, and you will see the amount spent this month is $33.3 million. I will note on packet page 120, you will see listed is the U.S. Bank Corporate Trust bond semi-annual bond payments. The total of that was $16.7 million. This included principal and interest. And then this below that is the Metropolitan bill for $11.6 million. And those two items consisted more over half of what was spent. And of those two items, I didn't note of have anything else noted, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Any questions? Director Williams?
No, thank you.
Director Deere?
No.
Director Gray?
No, thank you.
And I'm just looking through it. I don't have any specific questions, so thank you. Go ahead.
We'll move on to the next item, which would be the cash and investments report. And this is a handout item.
We have that? I don't have it yet. That I'm aware of. Sorry about that. Did they get it already or no? No, you emailed something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going to be brought up.
Mr. Chairman, it's at your pleasure. If you'd like, we can move forward with the presentation available on the screen here, or would you like us to fast forward and then come back to this once we get copies up here?
You know, well, let's do why don't you fast forward to the expenses real quick, I guess, while Desiree's getting the copies, okay? Yeah, page 123.
Oh,
But definitely on the water sales report, I want to make sure we're looking at that. But let's, yeah.
So I'll move on to agenda item 6BD, packet page 123, Directors Conference and Travel Expense. And this is through, I apologize, through July 2024. 4. And you will see the total for that is 3,712. The next packet, page 124, is item 6BE, which is executive management and staff travel expenses. This is as of July 2024.
Any questions on the travel expenses? Anybody? If not, the year just started. And then what we could do is let's do the cash and investments report on the screen. That's fine, you know, but we'll still get the printout.
I could ask you to move to the next page. So here is the summary as of July 31st, 2024. Total market value is $50.2 million. Just referring back to the demand list, we had a couple big expenditures which reduced our overall investment portfolio. The next page is our credit quality distribution graph. See, the majority is rate bonds. And then finally, the last page is the maturity distribution. They are continuing to be in highly liquidated, so we are at the ready if needed. And with that, that concludes the cash and investment report. Happy to answer the question.
Any questions on that?
No, thank you.
Good. Any questions, Director Gray?
No, thank you.
Let's see, how quick will we have the printouts? Okay. Thank you, Desiree. I see you provided us new calendars, right? Or at least for 2 more months, right? Is it
Yes.
August and September? Okay.
And I apologize, Mr. Chairman, if anybody would like to take a quick break, we hope to get everything up here as soon as possible.
I think I'm good. This is the last real item, right? Perfect.
Okay, and the final item is the monthly water sale. We'll begin with imported retail. It has been updated for the new fiscal year and the budget amount is 8,000 acre feet for the year. For July, we came in at 8,943 acre feet, which was above budget and above last year. Second graph would be imported barrier. For the fiscal year, we are budgeting 6,050 acre feet. For July, we had 906 acre feet. This is higher than last year. The county has all their wells back online and they have increased injections when you compare it to last year. The second page is the recycled water cells. Fiscal year budget for this year is 33,221. The month of July, we have 2,753 acre feet. So continue to see conservation probably items. Summer months are coming, so we anticipate an increase in that over the coming months. The table below, this barrier refineries and disinfected tertiary for the month. Barrier is at 652 acre feet. Membranes were changed out during the month, so that contributed to a lower sales for that for July. Refineries are at 1,638 and disinfected tertiaries at 463 acre feet. And with that, that concludes the report. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Any questions on any of these? Director Williams?
No, thank you.
Or Director Deere? Director Gray?
No, thank you.
Okay, and I guess like comments mainly is, of course, obviously imported barrier kind of lucked out, right? You know, a lot more water that they put in this past month or what have you. And then, of course, we're trending. We did well, just a hair more than what we expected on the imported water.
Yeah.
Import retail this past month. And then lastly, now, of course, recycled water, you know, still doesn't hit what we are budgeting, right? But it is in the scope of our trend line at this moment. So, and then my only question would be to probably general manager, especially dealing with the county. Is there anything we need to know right now, like any repairs they're doing, maintenance, anything you're aware of that we should have on our radar screen?
Yeah, the one thing that I would like to touch on and say a big thank you to staff. We'll talk a little bit more about this at the Engineering Operations Committee, but I had a chance to be at the Edward C. Little facility on Friday late afternoon, early evening. And I got word from Veolia that we have actually increased production to the barrier by about 2.5 NGD. So that's pretty significant as far as trying to get back to where we were some time ago. It is one of West Basin's priorities is to maximize recycled water to the barrier. And so we're going to continue to present that to all of you. But that's a pretty significant impact. I think it started on Wednesday or Thursday. They're able to ramp it up and maintain it at about 2.5 in addition to what we've previously been doing. So you'll see that at the E&O committee, which takes place next week.
Hey, very good. That is it next week or this week?
This week.
Huh?
You know,
Oh, this next Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, forgive me. I think you're right. Was it? This month just goes by so fast. I feel like the board meeting is next week, but it's not. Okay. Because most of these committees are this, only one committee meeting next week, right? Okay, got it. All right. Well, thank you for that update. And that's really good to know. Any questions on that item? Hearing none. We will move on in our agenda. Let's see. Item 7, closed session. We have no closed session. Director's comments or future agenda items. Anyone like to go first?
No, thank you.
Director Deere?
No.
None. Director Gray? I hear her, so.
Everyone,
Oh, there you are. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to staff and general manager for the work that they do and the reports they gave this morning. So thank you, Chair.
Excellent. Thank you, Director Gray. And I would just, in closing comment, say the same. Thank you to the staff. Thank you for the work that goes into the committee meeting. All these reports and bringing forth these items, which I know are complicated. So thank you very much. And with that, our next scheduled meeting is September 17th, 2024. We are adjourned.